In this session, you will learn about risk assessment in GMP inspections and remote inspections conducted by PMDA. This slide shows the organizations that conduct GMP inspections in Japan. GMP inspections are conducted by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare and PMDA. For some products, the government of the prefecture where the manufacturing site is located performs the inspections. PMDA and the 47 prefectural governments share their responsibilities for GMP inspections based on the properties of the applicable products. PMDA is responsible for all foreign and Japanese manufacturing sites of new drugs, biological products including vaccines and blood products, radiopharmaceuticals, and cellular and tissue-based products. On the other hand, the 47 prefectural governments are responsible for Japanese manufacturing sites of generic drugs, OTC drugs, and quasi-drugs, such as insecticides. In Japan, cellular and tissue-based products are legally classified into a different product category from drugs. For these products, the GCTP, which stands for Good Gene, Cellular, and Tissue-Based Products Manufacturing Practice, is used instead of GMP. GMP and GCTP are more or less equivalent, so we will omit a detailed explanation here. Risk assessment is performed to determine which GMP inspection method should be used. PMDA performs approximately 2,000 inspections per year, so the related operations must be carried out efficiently in order to complete them all. Accordingly, on-site inspections focus on the manufacturing sites with high risks as determined by the risk assessment. PMDA has a database of information related to past GMP inspections, such as the date of inspection, inspection method, inspected products, and inspection results. After PMDA receives a GMP inspection application, PMD performs a risk assessment to determine the inspection policy. The materials used for this risk assessment include the information accumulated in the database, status of inspections by foreign authorities, and characteristics of the inspected products. Based on this information, the risks that the manufacturing site may have are scored. If the manufacturing site is assessed to have high risks, PMD will perform an on-site inspection. For manufacturing sites with lower risk levels, a paper-based inspection, also known as a desktop inspection, is used instead. There are two types of methods used for GMP inspection: on-site inspection and desktop inspection. An on-site inspection, as its name suggests, is a method in which inspectors visit and inspect the manufacturing site in person. In contrast, a desktop inspection entails PMDA obtaining documents from the manufacturing site and inspecting them at its offices. Each method has advantages and challenges. For desktop inspections, only the documents are reviewed, so it is difficult to understand the actual status of the manufacturing site. For this reason, PMDA considers on-site inspections to be the most desirable method due to their ability to check the actual control status of the manufacturing site. However, since inspector resources are limited, PMDA only conducts on-site inspections for manufacturing sites that have been determined to have higher risk levels in the risk assessment. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the implementation of on-site inspections has been severely limited. For inspections in Japan, PMDA has resumed on-site inspections. However, due to overseas travel restrictions, PMDA has not been able to conduct on-site inspections for foreign manufacturing sites. In addition, it is difficult to predict the future international situation. There is a concern that PMDA will not be able to conduct on-site inspections at foreign manufacturing sites for an extended period of time. As of November 2021, PMDA has postponed on-site inspections for foreign manufacturing sites. Alternatively, PMDA is also conducting advanced desktop inspections in some cases. The next slide explains this inspection method. In parallel with these measures, PMDA has begun utilization of the Remote Inspection with ICT, Information and Communication Technology, tool to improve inspection effectiveness. As explained earlier, PMDA has been conducting on-site inspections and desktop inspections as its GMP inspection methods up until now. In addition to these methods, PMDA started pilot operations of advanced desktop and remote inspection methods in 2020. For advanced desktop inspections, in addition to all of the requirements for conventional desktop inspection, PMDA requests the submission of additional documents to further examine the matters that need an intensive review. By doing this, PMDA strives to make the advanced desktop inspection as thorough as the paper-based inspection performed during an on-site inspection. The remote inspection method incorporates technology to check the manufacturing site remotely without visiting it in person. For example, by using a web camera, we can check the manufacturing equipment and facilities in real time. PMDA can also perform a remote inspection by watching a pre-recorded video of the manufacturing site. Let's see an example of the workflow for remote inspection. PMDA makes prior arrangements with the manufacturing site, adjusting the inspection schedule, obtaining preliminary documents, securing interpreters, and selecting an ICT tool such as WebEx for the inspection. Just as with an actual on-site inspection, if the inspection is for a foreign manufacturing site, the inspection schedule must be arranged for a time zone that allows both parties to reasonably perform the inspection. In addition, the ICT tool must be checked in advance. There are some points of confirmation required. For example, the signal must be maintained during the inspection period. We need to ensure that the connection is strong and stable. The security of the ICT tool must be ensured. In addition, we may need to prepare an alternative tool in case of a connection problem. On the day of the remote inspection, it is necessary to connect to two locations, the manufacturing site and the applicant, using the ICT tool. The PMDA inspectors visit the applicant's offices in Japan to conduct the remote inspection. The procedures after the inspection are not so different from a regular on-site inspection. If there is not sufficient time for a question and answer session during the remote inspection period, PMDA may arrange for follow-up communication by exchanging inquiries and responses in writing. If any deficiencies or issues of concern are observed during the inspection period, PMDA will ask the manufacturing site to submit additional documents and report on any remedial action taken. If any critical deficiency is found, PMDA may consider switching the inspection method to a standard on-site inspection. This is an example of the remote inspection schedule for manufacturing sites in the U.S. If the inspection is conducted from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Japan, this is from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the East Coast time zone where the manufacturing site is located. The basic workflow of a remote inspection is the same as that of a usual on-site inspection. First, at the opening meeting, the manufacturing site will explain their facilities and the products that are subject to the inspection. Next, PMDA will check the manufacturing plant and the laboratory. Through this check, PMDA will be able to understand the facilities and operation methods of the manufacturing site and extract the points in need of confirmation in the paper-based inspection. Next, a paper-based inspection will be performed. Finally, at the closing meeting, PMDA will provide feedback from the inspection to the manufacturing site. For the manufacturing plant check, personnel from the manufacturing site will enter the manufacturing areas with a camera or smartphone. PMDA will ask the personnel to take a video showing the workflow from the receipt of the raw materials to the release of the product and share this video with the inspectors through the ICT tool in real time. The inspectors will watch the shared video and listen to the explanation. If necessary, the inspectors will interview the workers and carry out a question and answer session. During this session, the inspectors can ask the personnel handling the video to show specific points that they want to inspect more thoroughly. Although it depends on the scale of the manufacturing site and the length of the process, PMDA estimates that the time required for the check should be about 1 hour each for the production and testing areas. For the storage area, inspection should take about 30 minutes. In the paper-based inspection, the inspectors review primarily the documents that have been submitted in advance. The inspectors conduct a question and answer session in real time and request the submission of additional documents. There are several options for how to share these documents on inspection day. Here are some examples. 1. The documents can be stored in a shared server and viewed by both parties. 2. The documents can be displayed on a PC screen. 3. The documents can be shared as an email attachment. If the inspection is conducted in 2 teams, multiple communication lines are required. As of August 2021, PMDA has carried out 10 remote inspections. From this limited experience, PMDA has learned that the efficiency of a remote inspection varies depending on the ICT level of the manufacturing site. For manufacturing sites with a high-speed internet connection, it is possible to stream videos of the production and testing areas in real time. In this case, inspectors are able to ask questions while listening to the explanation from the personnel of the manufacturing site. If there are any unclear points in the explanation, they can be resolved immediately. This is a great advantage. Even though it is a remote inspection, communication is no different from an on-site inspection. If the internet connection at the manufacturing site is unstable, the video may not be delivered smoothly in real time. In this case, we can use a pre-recorded video instead to receive an explanation of the manufacturing site. If it is difficult to understand the explanation while watching the video, PMDA can ask the manufacturing site to provide additional photos or video footage. PMDA considers this to be the standard ICT level for a remote inspection. There is also another option for remote inspections. PMDA can receive an explanation of the manufacturing site using still images. However, PMDA does not consider this option necessary because video footage can easily be recorded using devices such as smartphones. It is not always possible to conduct a remote inspection with an ideal environment. For this reason, it is necessary to determine how the inspection should be carried out based on the ICT level of the manufacturing site. For the paper-based inspection, documents need to be shared with the inspectors. The inspectors will ask questions and discuss the content of the documents while viewing them along with the applicant. There are several options for how to share these documents. It is ideal if PMDA can receive the requested documents from the applicant immediately and check them during the inspection. This can be achieved using a data sharing system such as Microsoft SharePoint. Alternatively, documents can be shared on screen using a teleconferencing tool such as WebEx. This is also one of our preferred methods. If the ICT level at the manufacturing site is not high, documents need to be sent by email in advance, and PMDA will ask questions about them during the remote inspection. In this case, if additional documents are requested, they also need to be sent by email. However, this method presents some challenges. For example, the file size that PMDA can receive on our email server is limited, so documents with larger file sizes cannot be sent in some cases. There are some advantages and challenges of remote inspections. The advantages of conducting a remote inspection are as follows. The manufacturing plant and its operations can be checked directly. Compared to desktop inspections, PMDA can obtain more useful information. By utilizing multiple cameras effectively, it is possible to save time moving between different work areas and eliminate the time lost from changing clothes and protective gear to enter different areas. In this way, PMDA can check the manufacturing site more efficiently. On the other hand, there are also some challenges. It is necessary to secure a stable ICT tool and ensure all of our data communication is secure. Also, PMDA needs to consider how to deal with possible IT problems. It is necessary to adjust the schedule with consideration for time zone differences. In some regions, it is difficult to conduct inspections within the operating hours of the manufacturing site. It is difficult to see the reaction of the other party when they respond to questions, and checking records in a timely manner can also be challenging. In particular, PMDA found it difficult to detect fraud and investigate data integrity in depth. Compared to the conventional on-site inspections and desktop inspections, PMDA has learned from our experiences that remote inspections have some advantages. However, the information available from remote inspections is limited compared to traditional on-site inspections, and we believe that remote inspections cannot completely replace them. It is unknown when the COVID-19 pandemic will be over and the restrictions on overseas travel will be lifted. Therefore, PMDA needs to continue improving the methods of remote inspections in the future and implement more effective methods for GMP inspections.